That's our third speaker. We have the representative of Pakistan. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. And we welcome your presence, Mr. President, to chair this timely debate. And we commend Colombia for its effective stewardship of the Council this month. As we heard the Secretary General, the situation in the Middle East is fragile and increasingly volatile. Across the region, unresolved disputes have become protracted conflicts, and cycles of violence are becoming normalized. Persistent disregard for international law, non-implementation of Security Council resolutions, and the absence of genuine political processes have diminished the prospects for achieving lasting peace, stability, and security. At such a moment, it is important to remind ourselves that advancing political solutions is a foundational obligation under the Charter. The Arab-Israeli conflict is one of the oldest and biggest issues on this Council's agenda. Middle East is one of the world's most complex political landscapes, where history, identity, culture, civilization, and religion intersect profoundly. These realities cannot be ignored or oversimplified. Peace efforts must therefore account for these sensitivities with care, balance, objectivity, and deep understanding. Mr. President, the situation on ground could not be worse. In Gaza, after nearly 3 years of devastating conflict and Israeli onslaught, humanitarian suffering reached catastrophic proportions. Concerted efforts led by U.S. President Donald Trump and supported by a group of 8 Arab Islamic countries, including Pakistan, culminated in the Gaza Peace Plan and Resolution 2803. However, despite the ceasefire, violations and killings of Palestinians continue. While in the West Bank, a deliberate policy of settlement expansion, settler violence, and unilateral actions undermine the viability of a two-state solution. In Lebanon, the cessation of hostilities framework and Resolution 1701 continue to be violated. Relentless Israeli bombardment has killed thousands, while the illegal occupation of southern Lebanon keeps on expanding. Syria, with its new leadership and bold political decisions, is making efforts towards gradual stabilization, yet it also continues to face occupation. The situation in Yemen also warrants international attention. Ultimately, only an inclusive Yemeni-led and Yemeni-owned political process under UN auspices can deliver peace. President, Pakistan views the developments in West Asia and broader Gulf region with great concern. The war's impact on regional and global peace and stability, as well as on international economy, particularly energy and food security, are obvious. It took concerted mediation efforts led by Pakistan, together with our other partners, including Turkey, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and others, including Qatar and China, and the cooperation of the parties themselves to bring about a ceasefire and de-escalation that enabled the parties to return to the negotiations. And I also appreciate the Secretary General's support for these efforts. But while progress has been made, the situation remains tense. Our immediate priority must be to continue diplomacy, achieve complete cessation of hostilities, and normalization of the situation in the Strait of Hormuz, which is vital for all countries in the region and beyond. A comprehensive, peaceful settlement of all issues is imperative for lasting peace and stability. Pakistan supports the sovereignty, territorial integrity, political independence and security of all brotherly countries in the region. Pakistan also has expressed continued and unwavering support and complete solidarity with the fraternal GCC countries in these challenging times. President, the UN has historically played a central role in facilitating dialogue, mediation, and conflict resolution efforts in the Middle East. While political initiatives have met varying degrees of success, they demonstrate the enduring value of sustained diplomacy and multilateral engagement in the pursuit of a just and lasting peace. In this context, several principles must guide our collective approach. First, international law and the United Nations Charter must remain the bedrock of all efforts to prevent and resolve conflicts. Second, the faithful implementation of relevant Security Council resolutions, including resolutions 242, 1701, 497, and 2803, must be ensured. Illegal occupation of Arab lands must end. Ceasefires must be respected and humanitarian assistance must flow unimpeded. Third, sustainable peace cannot emerge without addressing the root causes. This was a point highlighted by the ESG as well. The Palestinian question remains at the very core of efforts to achieve lasting peace in the region. A time-bound and irreversible political process anchored in relevant UN resolutions must lead to the establishment of a sovereign, independent, and contiguous state of Palestine on pre-1967 borders, with Al-Quds al-Sharif as its capital. Fourth, a comprehensive peace in the region must be founded on the purposes and principles of the UN Charter, the right to self-determination, end to illegal occupation of Arab lands, and the security of all peoples in the region. In this regard, the 2002 Arab Peace Initiative provides a concrete framework to guide our collective efforts towards a lasting peace. President, Pakistan's long-standing commitment to peace is reflected in concrete action. In July last year, Pakistan successfully led the adoption of Security Council Resolution 2788 that reaffirms our collective resolve for diplomacy, mediation, and other means for pacific settlement of disputes. And as a practical manifestation of that, Pakistan remains actively engaged in efforts to advance the Gaza peace plan and in facilitating dialogue and mediation aimed at reducing tensions between the US and Iran, efforts that continue to this day. Navigating these complex and sensitive issues demands patience, resolve, and objectivity by all. That continues to guide Pakistan's approach. The Middle East today requires peace, and so does the rest of the world. The costs of continued conflict are no longer contained or confined within borders. They reverberate globally. The responsibility before this Council is therefore clear: to place diplomacy above confrontation, dialogue above division, and international law above expediency. This is the path toward lasting